last episode of environmental friendliness here on the Beds-of-Experten, and I want to give you my sincere apologies for it taking more time than we would have hoped to make this last episode. Reason for that is because we have now finally launched our English version of our website as well, so we wanted to wait for that, so we got everything together. So we have the whole episode in English, and also now you have an English website where you can see all our products. And of course we have got a lot of questions from a lot of different people that ask about different natural materials and a lot of different topics, and I want to discuss some of them here, but we have already decided that we will have some more themes for hopefully in the late summer or something like that. And I hope you can excuse my appearance here today, but it's actually the warmest day here in Sweden so far. Today it's over 30 degrees warm, so it's Celsius, so it's actually quite warm here now. And to get to some of the questions, many of the questions have of the different natural materials has actually evolved more about the actual products that you make of the products. Which, for example, if I take the first question here, which now it comes from a lot of different persons, but I got one question from Anna from email, and she wanted me to take it up here as well today. So, and that's the weight of the different natural materials. And that can be actually quite important, but I think the main point when it comes to all different natural materials is that they actually weigh more than synthetic materials in general. So for example, if you take cotton, which seems fluffy and nice, it's quite heavy. So if you make a mattress in 100% cotton, it will be heavy. And also if you use natural latex, that's extremely heavy and actually quite wobbly, so it's quite difficult to carry. So it's a very good and hardy natural material, but it's quite heavy. And I think you could say that for most natural materials. Also, if you take cocoa nut, for example, cocoa fibers, which I showed you, when you press that hot together in many layers, it's still quite heavy. And also the tatami mats, which we sell, for example, which is rice straw, those are also quite heavy. One single mat weighs about 25 kilos. So I think that generally, no matter which material you choose in natural materials, is quite heavy. And another good example is also actually feathers. If you have duck feathers, for example, in pillows and mattresses, it's very light and fluffy, but it weighs more than if you have a synthetic materials like polyester fiber, which you have if you do not have feathers in the mattress. So I say generally natural materials, they weigh more than synthetic materials. And take next questions from Jonas here in Sweden. I guess as we have our webpage today in Swedish, I guess most of the questions will come from Swedish people, even though we make the films already in the beginning in English, because I think we have to plan for the future, and we have a lot of customers already from other countries. Now when we're launching our new web page, I checked, we have actually our biggest market outside of Sweden is Finland, and number 2 is Norway. But we also sell to a lot of different European countries, and we also sold some orders to America and other countries. So I guess that's the future. You can't get away from that. Internet is global. So, question from Jonas: why is there longer delivery time on some materials? And that's it. I think the aftermath of the corona crisis, which we have now, it's a lot of things that actually are delayed when it comes to natural materials. And for example, just to give you one example how bad it can be sometimes, it's I spoke to a supplier in Vietnam, a country with 70 million people, and he had problems getting a container to ship the materials out. He couldn't find a container in the entire country. So that says something about the situation we are in now, when there is nothing to ship, and we also see the prices are going up. We see prices increases of about 1600% or something on container freights and so on. And that of course has something to do with the consumers are sitting at home and want to order more and more, but the suppliers have difficult to get it out because there are so many catch-up effects now in the beginning of the end of the pandemic. Maybe we should say, as Churchill, this is not the end but merely the end of the beginning, because we don't know how long this will go on. But my prediction is that we will see disturbances when it comes to raw materials 2024 something, then we will see a release. But as it is now, we will see this for longer, because for example, just take one example, when you see container ships, one figure I heard was that 25% of all container ship capacity was scrapped during the pandemic. And now when you need to make new container ships because the demand is increasing, it takes some time to finish those new ships. So maybe in 2 years time we will have the full container fleet again, and it has to be bigger than it was before the pandemic. So that's where we at. We will have some problems, but if you have any specific needs or any specific timelines that you have to keep, then please send us an email or text us or whatever. Send us on the chat button on the homepage or whatever, and we can help you to find materials which don't take longer, because it goes very much up and down. Sometimes we can get everything and we have no problems, and the week after everything is empty again and so on. So it sways very much forth and back. So please ask us if you have any specific needs for any specific delivery. Everything will be delivered, but yes, there are still some delays, especially on natural materials at this point, because most of the natural materials that are used in the mattresses, cotton, coconut, latex and so on, they are not produced in Europe. They come from other parts of the world. And yes, we have a plan, we are looking at it. We will import more also from Europe and produce locally here in Sweden. So we have a plan for that, just as so many other countries have as well. Natural material is the future, and we already produce some of the bed frames and so on here locally in Sweden to get rid of the problems with the delivery, because yes, they will last for a long time, but also I think for the whole environmental friendliness thing, I think if you do ship things as short distance as possible, it's better for the environment. So that's what we are working on. So it will be better in time. Next question. And this is a question that we get from a lot of people, and it's not only me, it's also for the other people working in this company, and we get these questions a lot. What kind of mattress do you sleep on? What kind of mattress should I buy? And so on. Questions which are quite, which you say, personal down to, and if I give you as a customer an answer of, I sleep on that, or this is my personal opinion about something, I don't think that's 100% accurate for you, because all the time when you look at natural materials, you have to look at what do you need and what do you want. Because for example, normally here now in the warm summertime, as you see, I'm from a cold country, I'm not used to this kind of warmth, so when it's days like this here in Sweden, I sleep on my cotton mattress downstairs because it's very cold and comfy for me. But that does not mean that you have the same needs when you sleep on a mattress. And just because I like a hard mattress, does not mean that you need the same kind of mattress. You have to always ask questions about your needs when you buy a mattress. Explain to the salesman or the saleswoman what kind of needs you have, what preferences you have. That's what's important. Do never buy anything because you have a salesperson saying that this is what I like, because that's just stupid. So, and actually sometimes I wonder what kind of an answer do you expect on a question like, is this mattress good? I mean, come on, if you're a customer and you ask a salesperson, is this mattress good? What do you expect them to answer? I think you have to do a little bit more than just ask a question, is this good, or what kind of mattress do you have? You have to actually start thinking about yourself. What do you need, and what kind of mattress can I stand? And it's absolutely no problem for me to listen a little bit about you and your personal life and what kind of experience you need in your bed chamber. So please do that when you ask a salesman about what you need to sleep on. Otherwise, you will get something that is very good for the salesperson, and that's probably not going to be good for you. So, next question. Where can I try the materials? And this is a question we get a lot from a lot of customers as well. And my answer to that is we are more than happy to send you samples of different materials in the post if you need them. And it doesn't matter where on this planet you live, I'm happy to send those materials to you so you can try them out. Because it's also good, especially when it comes to natural materials, see if you're allergic to something or not. For example, a lot of people, they are allergic to natural latex. So if you have a natural latex allergy, of course it's good to see that. And another allergy that we have a lot of here in Sweden is against pine, and that can also come from other types of wood. But for example, me personally, I'm allergic to birch, which we have right here. And of course, if you're allergic to something, you should not sleep on it. So we are more than happy to send you some samples from the different materials and so on. We also have a shop here in South Sweden, which we are renovating at the moment. We will open hopefully now after midsummer. But yes, please send us an email on the email address is so info@uifab.se. I take it again, info@uifab.se. Okay, so now you have the email address, so you can just send us a mail what kind of materials you want to try, and we'll send it for you in the post. Absolutely no problem. So, like I said, I think that's enough for the questions for now. We have lots of more questions, but I think what we have discussed and what we will do is actually we will have an online meeting with our customers in some form. Now, when we have launched the English version of our website, and we will actually do it live with live questions from the customers when we've come that far. So hopefully in the end of the summer we will do a longer episode of that, and in the meantime we will post some more short videos on YouTube and the blog and so on, where we will discuss current subjects of different sorts. Okay, thank you very much for today.